Welcome back to the Spartan Update podcast. I'm your host, Ava and Jackie. I'm joined with my fellow cast and crewmates, Jackie, Bahari, and Pigo. I'm joined with my special guest, Mr. Leute. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, honestly.
Yeah, I'm
on
good
this
too. It was
freezing
chilly.
day. By the way, it's 43 degrees out and sunny. Forgot to mention it, but it's okay. Yeah, I didn't defrost my car this morning, and it was really cold. I had my varsity jacket in my car, so it was not like beneficial to me.
That's the advantage of having a garage
Oh my! But
and heated seats.
ooh,
I'm sorry.
I
Right.
heated
I could start my
seats
car from
too.
my phone, but like I just didn't think it was necessary this morning.
I know. I didn't start my car early.
Thought it
because
was nice.
I thought it was gonna be nice. So I drive like this when it's cold. I drive with my sleeves. I feel like
Yeah.
Ariana Grande.
It was cold. So how did you get started into teaching?
How did I get started into teaching?
Yeah.
Well, I actually had no intention originally of being teaching.
Wow.
When I went to college, I was going to become a set designer, or I was a set designer. I have my degree in set design and fine art.
Wow.
And that sort of led me into designing and developing product. So I worked for 25 years in the industry, designing and developing stuff that you might want to buy.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Things like, I worked for Macy's for 10 years.
no
Oh,
way!
wow.
Way. Good old Macy's, back in the good old days.
That's really cool.
So my design skills were used, sort of translated into actually designing the product type of things. And then I got to work for the Museum of Modern Art, designing and
I
developing
was just
product for the
there.
Are
museum.
you?
Yeah,
Isn't it
it was
fantastic?
really fun.
got
I really enjoyed
connections.
it.
No, I just lucked out. So I was in my mid 30s and I was like, what am I going to do? And I saw a job for the Museum of Modern Art and I applied on a Monday and I got the job on Friday.
Wow!
Oh, wow.
So I was very
Impressive.
lucky. And because there's only one person in the world who got to do what I got to do, and I really love doing that.
So unique.
Yeah.
And then I got another phone call to say, would I like to live in the Caribbean? So I moved to St. Thomas and lived in the Caribbean for 2 years.
Oh
I
my!
was a merchandise manager for a store that had 23 stores throughout the Caribbean.
That's
Pretty
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
we're shocked. We're jaw dropped right
No,
now.
like I would have
Like you would
never known this.
So that was really wonderful to be
Wow.
able to live in the Caribbean and go to all those Caribbean islands. But what's the one problem with being in the Caribbean?
You're not home.
Well, it was my
weather?
home
Weather.
i.e. hurricanes.
Yeah.
So September 15th, 1995, a day I'll never forget. I was hunkered down in the bathtub with a mattress over my head as the roof and the windows blew out.
Oh my gosh.
And it
So
was a
scary.
life-changing experience. So I stayed for another 9 months on the island, but I decided that CNN and a dial tone are not luxuries in life anymore.
Yeah.
And as they were putting back the same old corrugated roofs and telephone wires, I was like, I'm not putting my life in their hands again. So I came back to the United States without a job and called on my friends and said, help, I need a job. And within 2 weeks, it brought me to Monmouth County because I worked for Waterford Crystal. So
Okay,
I
that
started
makes sense.
designing, developing product for Waterford Crystal. And so
Wow.
I ended up being vice president for Waterford Crystal.
What? That's crazy.
So then at the age of 50, I was like having my midlife crisis as what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Because it was really very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend had said like, well, if you really want it, why don't you become a teacher? So I took up my number 2 pencils and went and took the test to become a teacher. It's called alternate route. New Jersey allows people to become teachers
Without the degree.
without a degree. But so you would take the test. So if you were a math major, you would take the math test.
Yeah.
Or if you were an English major, you would take. So I took the art test and I passed.
Yay!
My 220 questions on my little Scantron. And I
Wow.
passed, which allowed me to then be eligible to teach. And so I started my first job at Manasquan High School.
Oh my god, I'm
On-
playing them in softball today. Crazy.
There you go. And so that was a maternity replacement leave. And then when that was finished, then I fell into Ocean. So I've been here at Ocean Township for 16 years.
Oh my
Holy
gosh!
moly.
Wow.
I'm old.
No, you just have such a like.
Yeah.
That's such a good life story.
And no one would ever guessed it.
No idea. Like you live in the Caribbean. Like what?
That's insane.
So I think what I tell my students is that I would have never been able to plan when I was like in high school thinking about like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life or what I'm going to do? And I don't think you can do that anymore. You have to sort of
Go with
go
the flow.
for it. Do the best you can for right now. And for the next 3 to 4 years, this is what you want to do. And in 3 to 4 years, the world is going to change. You're going to change and then do something else. Or that's
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen. But as long as you've done really well, that will.
Lead up to
Yes.
where you
So
go.
all those doors for me, all those different opportunities wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been good at what I was doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel really grateful for that and the opportunities that.
That is
Yeah,
so
well, you
insane.
worked
And that was
hard.
also such good pieces of advice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's honestly so true. Because like, who would have guessed like in 2020 that the world would have been shut down? Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
nobody had any idea that that was coming, and you never know what could be
Right.
in the next year, or the next week, or the next day,
So
or the next minute.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
So one of my philosophies in life, because I have a tendency to.
Just a wise guy.
No,
over
I
here.
have a tendency to stress about all the things that have to get done. So I have my 5, 5, and 5 philosophy.
Ooh,
so
wow. Please share.
if
Yes.
in the next, I get stressed about something, and if I can't get it done in the next 5 minutes, is it going to affect something 5 years from now?
No.
So if it's not, don't worry about it. Just let it go, put it in a bubble. So what if you're late for 2 minutes? So what if
Mm-hmm.
every assignment doesn't get done? It's okay if it's not going to really affect something. But if it is going to affect something 5 years from now, take the time and do it.
Prioritize it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what's I use that a lot to keep myself calm because I have a tendency
Yeah.
to make
I
myself
feel like
go
I'm gonna
crazy.
use that.
5,
know,
5,
like-
and 5,
Yeah.
right? So,
No, yeah.
okay,
5,
don't
5.
stress if it's not going to affect something 5 years from now.
Yeah, I really like that.
It
So-
reminds me of like one of those like quotes. Like I saw it in like probably like an elementary school classroom. It was like, if what you're wearing right now will affect you in 10 years, why would it like affect you now or something? And I was like, honestly, like so true. Because we were like talking about like these jeans, and like somebody was wearing these jeans, and like my teacher was like, if it's not gonna impact you 10 years from now, then why should it affect you now?
Or just don't stress about or don't worry
Yeah,
about it
like,
so much
don't worry
right now.
about the little stuff.
Yeah, the little things. Well, little things in life are like
Yeah.
good, but like also like don't worry about the little things.
Mhm.
Like there's a
Right.
nice little balance. you got
yeah, a
there.
nice balance you just have to find.
Gotta
I
keep
agree.
yourself grounded. Where did you go to school?
I I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
Cherry Hill East, too bad West. East is best. It was a really huge high school. We had 4,000 students in
In
the
your
school.
graduating class. Oh,
And so there were 1,000
Ooh.
students per class. So it was
Well,
sort
yeah.
of like each class was the size of Ocean Township High
That's
School.
crazy.
yeah. There's
was
like
really
200
cool.
kids in our like graduating class or
Right.
something. There's not a lot.
I thought that was a lot. We've like,
No, we have a like such tiny graduating class.
I thought it was big. That's crazy though. 1,000.
That was really
that's
big. It was
a
really
lot.
big. So
Wow.
I went to Cherry Hill East, and I wanted to be an architect, but my father was like, I was very fortunate. I had parents who could afford to send me to college. Now, this is back in the day when it was like $5,000 for tuition and board,
Yeah.
not
50.
$50,000.
Yeah.
So he said to me, well, if you want to be an architect, that's okay, but that's 5 years. He said, I'm willing to pay for 4, but I can't pay for 5. And I was like, oh. So that's why I became a set designer,
Okay.
because it was a
Mm.
4-year program.
No, yeah.
So then I went to Syracuse University
Oh, okay,
Wow.
okay.
because they had a really good drama department, and they actually
Yeah.
had a degree in set design.
Yeah.
So that's why I went
And
there.
you knew like in high school that you wanted to take that path?
Well, I mean, at that time,
Yeah.
that was sort of like what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be an architect. Okay, I couldn't do that, so I sort of became the set designer. sort of incorporated my theatrical background and my enjoyment for that. And yet I thought there was a career path there to it, which there is, but you have to be really patient with it.
Yeah.
And my impatience sometimes, or my fear of not knowing where next month's rent was going to come from. So that's what got me into designing product and developing product.
Wow.
So
Wow.
one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the course of like all the jobs that you've like experienced, what has been your favorite one and why?
That's a
Ooh,
really
good
tough one
question.
because I've been very fortunate. I had great jobs. There is something to be said about being in the product development jobs, to have an idea and a concept, to design it, get it made, see it made, and see it sold. So that process is really exciting. And out of those jobs, I would say maybe the Museum of Modern Art was really exciting because
Yeah,
getting
That
to
is
work
really
That is
cool.
super
That's
work
really
with
cool.
artists and working with the collection and working
And like
with
the
Frank Lloyd.
surrounding like
Yeah, so that was, I mean, there was something that appealed to my aesthetic senses that working for the Museum of Modern Art, you know, living in the Caribbean was fantastic, and working for that company afforded me to go scuba diving on the weekends and enjoy the Caribbean
what
as,
a life.
you know.
That's
honestly.
a life.
What
And then
a
now,
life.
and now teaching now it's working with students is really pretty exciting. you
Yeah.
know. So it's very rewarding in that respect.
Yeah. Did you like grow up in like Monmouth County or like this area?
No,
or?
I grew up down in Camden County in
Oh
Cherry Hill.
yeah, duh. No, you're
So-
right.
So,
Cherry Hill.
but there's parts, I mean, Cherry Hill is sort of like Monmouth County. It's a subsidiary
Yeah.
Yeah.
of Philadelphia. So
How far are
this
you
is
from Philly?
20 minutes, 25
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay,
So
Wow.
it was easy.
Yeah. It's a hike from here. A little
Oh
bit of a
yeah,
hike.
from here, but
Take
it's sort of like
I-95.
our concept of, I think we're more associated with New York here than
Yeah.
No, 100%,
We are with
but it's so
Philadelphia.
crazy because it's so much easier to get to Philly
Mm.
yeah.
from here. Like I go to like this City Field and it's 40 miles away, but it takes us almost 2 hours. Like
Right.
Mhm.
No, that was nice being outside of Philadelphia in
Yeah.
New Jersey. So it was easy.
especially in that area, there are so many like I feel like there could be so many opportunities being right by a city, and like getting like internships and jobs and stuff,
Yeah.
and like especially if you want to take like a career path down like being in like business, for example, like you can get so many easy like internships just by being in the city and
Right.
being a part of it.
Yeah.
So that's also like a huge. That's also why like Monmouth County is also so good because you're right by the
Yes,
city
we're
too.
Right by the
Like
city.
there's so much opportunities there, literally, and it's huge. And
Smart.
I will say that I also in that while I was designing and developing product, it afforded me to travel.
yeah,
Ooh.
And I
like
got to,
traveling.
I did a thing for Mrs. DeMuro, and I realized that I've been in over 40 countries and 200 cities
Oh my
in
god.
my lifetime.
What's your
I-
favorite place
yeah.
that you visited?
If I were to go live someplace, I think it would be Italy.
Ooh, I
Out-
went to Italy.
outside
I
of
loved
Florence.
it.
So
Where'd you go in Italy?
Florence, Italy.
Wow.
So I think, I mean, if I were to settle outside of the country, I would consider living outside it or in and around Florence. It's a beautiful country. But I think those opportunities of allowing me to see the world as much as I have
yeah.
sort of got me out of Camden County, got me out of Monmouth County
Yeah.
to understand the world a lot more.
That's a
And
big
you
change.
did work for all of these like in all of these countries, or you just like
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So like all those countries were usually where the factories were. So I would have the product designed and developed, and then I'd have to go to the factory to check it out, make sure it was correct, do any of the corrections. So that's why I got to go to all those different countries because
that's
Yeah.
insanity.
I feel like we need a TV show on you going to like every different
Mr.
country.
Lotus Wild Adventures
Yeah, your
and
wild
checking
adventures.
history. Yes, there's quite a bit there.
You truly do
'Cause
have
when yeah
crazy life.
when you were telling like about like the mattress thing, I could literally just picture it in my
Yes.
head. Like
It was
that's
bad.
terrifying.
It was
That's
bad.
really scary.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I could only like imagine. Like what have we been hit with? Superstorm Sandy? Like,
Yeah, and even that
Yeah,
was
so
really scary. You're
When
like,
yeah.
when the students are like, so how long did you not have electricity? Maybe 2 weeks.
yeah, probably around.
Yeah.
Probably
Try 3 months without electricity, 3 months with water, and 9 months without a telephone.
Oh my god.
What would
Consider
you
me
do?
in the grave.
What would you do 9 months without
I
a
was-
telephone?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insanity. So that's
That-
why I came back, because
Yeah.
You were done.
done.
You were
a
done.
dial tone and CNN are not luxuries in life anymore.
Honestly, like, I can't get over the fact that you live in the Caribbean.
That's so cool though. Like,
I'm so
Wow.
jealous because I've literally never left the country yet.
I mean, it's definitely something, it gives you another perspective on life. But it has its limitations. So.
No, yeah. Do you have any kids?
No children.
do you have any pets?
No boats, no pets, no children.
Wow.
I am married. I have a husband.
Wow.
So we don't have any children, but we've been together 26 years.
Oh my gosh!
you guys.
Congrats.
So life is good.
Yeah.
Met him here in Monmouth County. So
Oh wow! I wasn't sure if you met him like in any place.
no, so it was
you were
because I
traveling.
came back from the Caribbean and I ended up here. in
Oh,
Monmouth
so
County.
this see
Wow.
everything works out for a reason. If you didn't come back from the Caribbean,
You
never
would've
would
never
have
met
Right,
him.
exactly.
So-
Would have never met him.
Exactly.
That's
So-
crazy.
So life is good.
Do you live in Ocean or do you live?
I
like-
live in Shrewsbury,
Oh wow!
so it's pretty close by.
Yeah, not that big of a commute.
No.
I feel like if I were a teacher, I wouldn't live in like the town that I like would like teach at because like A, I don't want to be seen by students in public, and B, like I want to be like far away enough to like it's not like a terrible commute, but also like far away to like the students
Yeah.
don't like see me in public. Like
But I will say it's fun. Like, I don't think I would want to live in Ocean Township, but it is sort of fun when you're out. It's like, yo, Mr. Lloyd, how's it going? What's going on, Mr.
Yeah.
L? You know, type of thing. So invariably people are working in restaurants here, there, and everywhere. So.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it would be
So
fun.
I've served Miss Klim before. I've served Miss Garrity before.
Oh my god!
Like she walked in and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no way Miss Garrity
Where do
is
you
here."
work?
I work at Iliano's Cafe
Oh, yeah,
in
sure.
Eatontown.
Yeah.
Yep.
now you know where to go to next.
Yeah.
when you're going out
Oh,
to
there we
dinner.
go. Good
I'll
Italian.
be there. I'll be there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I've
Yeah.
literally learned so much about you and your life.
Me
And
too.
That
Anytime.
would have never known that you were right next door and lived in the Caribbean in a bathtub. Would have never guessed.
There you have it.
But now we know
That's
that.
my fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. After OTHS, you're going to move. Maybe Florence will be in
It
your next.
could
life.
well be.
Could
And
be.
options.
It could well be.
You'll never
Yep.
hear from this man again.
Or I'll be sending lots
Yeah,
of postcards. from
Send a
overseas.
lot of postcards.
Just make everyone jealous on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you again. I
Oh,
really
my pleasure.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
Thank you so much.
And that's it. Cut.